So the end of ceremony. So there's a couple of different aspects to this. First of all, there's immediately after the ceremony, and I'm sure the shamans will repeat this, but highly encourage you to just stay in your own process. For me, the ceremony really doesn't finish until the next day, until we do our sharing, and quite often we've still got the medicines going through us. If they're going through us in a strong way, then well, quite often the ceremonies will just carry on until the effects have worn off. But if we're still sort of feeling the effects afterwards, the shamans and the support people there will help you get back. The main thing is don't engage with other people, just stay in your process. I mean, I find that especially those first 2 or 3 hours after the actual ceremony is sort of finished, I get so much insights and downloads and just reflections and things. So it's a really good time just to sort of, of course, if we start engaging, talking to somebody else, then we're out of our own process and we potentially miss some of the gold that we from the ceremony. So, ideally, I normally go and sit outside for a little bit somewhere and, quite close to where we're going to be sleeping, and then just sort of, catch my breath and then go and lie down. And generally I can't go to sleep for, a few hours afterwards, and, sometime until the sun rises but during that time, just getting beautiful insights and things. And, I used to try and write everything down, but and record videos and things. But when you're doing sort of 3 ceremonies a week, week after week, it becomes quite a lot. So these days, I tend to write or sort of draw my reflections. So you can't see this too well, but there's some pictures there. So there's a picture of me purging, and so I could point to any aspect of this picture and explain explain my experience or share my experience, and that's just how I do my reflections. But it's really important, especially we've gone in with some intentions, we've gone through and done a whole lot of work and a lot of clearing, and then really it's about integration. It's about integrating what we are learning in the ceremony into the physical world, and I'll cover that off in a next video in the after ceremony section. So basically, really encourage you to go back, get your own space, even in the morning when you wake up for breakfast and things like that. If you can, grab your breakfast and then go off and get time on your own, and sit there and spend as much time on your own right up until the sharing. If you can get a chance to do some reflection in between, fine. If you don't, then that's fine as well. Sometimes I've spent hours, I haven't slept at all, and I've just been reflecting and drawing and writing stuff down, and so I've got quite a lot of, when I go in and share, what comes up, or sometimes I just go in with nothing, I just go in with what's sort of the top of my head and share that, or top of my heart, really, I should say. So, but it's certainly the important thing is just really, and again, this will cover off this in integration, but just really taking that time to really reflect on the things that have come up and really gain those insights. And then finally, generally there is every retreat I've been to, there's a sharing the next day. So 10, 11 o'clock type of thing, we all get together and we share whatever we feel inspired to share with the group, and it's a very, very, very powerful part of the process for me. Obviously just sharing my own stories, but just hearing the transformations and things that people have gone through. Just beautiful, beautiful things. And I'll share one little story where one young guy, 22-year-old there, his father committed suicide when he was very young, and he never got a chance to say goodbye. And he actually met him in the ceremony, and they got a chance to say goodbye. And his father passed on some words of wisdom, and his father sort of just went off into to the heavens. And so it was really beautiful. And the change in this boy the next day, this young man the next day, was just amazing. So the sharing part I find very, very, very powerful, very useful for my own process. So, all right, well, there's a little few things there on the end of ceremony, but just very, very important process, and really important that we respect that you know, for me, the ceremony really, as I said, doesn't finish until the shearing's done. So, all right, lots of love.